You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna watch a video on this. The Nick Hotels.
In 1999, the children's network Nickelodeon was changed forever with the premiere of a new cartoon series
I know about the
named
ice field and
SpongeBob
its
SquarePants.
reality
Nickelodeon
bending
had developed many
nonsense.
popular TV shows in its 20-year existence, but it had never had a hit like SpongeBob. The show debuted to high ratings,
good old
with an audience
Spongy.
comparable to Nickelodeon's biggest series at the time, Rugrats. But
Rugrats.
SpongeBob found massive success in an area that other Nickelodeon shows hadn't. Merchandising. The company had purposefully shied away from extending the brand too far from the network itself.
I love that Spaceballs
While Nickelodeon
joke.
had turned some of its properties into
'Cause
toys,
it's so true.
feature films, and video games, they feared that too much merchandising would contradict
Wait, what did that say again? Sorry?
the network itself. While
Sorry?
Nickelodeon had turned some of its properties into toys, feature films,
Oh, it's just a
and
source.
video games, they feared that too much merchandising would contradict the brand's goal of appealing to young audiences. Nickelodeon
This
was
is the only
supposed to
board
appear
game
as
I've
a
seen
network
that
run by
ever
kids
someone come
for
out in
kids,
third out
and
of
the
two
executives believed
people.
that children could tell when they were being
Yeah,
advertised to, thus
crazy.
interfering with the channel's primary objective. On top of this, a general distaste for the Walt Disney Company and its practices had solidified Nickelodeon's motivation to limit size and avoid feeling corporate. All of this was thrown out the window
indeed.
after SpongeBob premiered. The potential
Yeah.
profit from merchandising the show's characters and setting was too large to ignore, and the title character
Money.
would turn into Nickelodeon's
Money.
unofficial mascot, its own Mickey Mouse, within just a few years.
Indeed.
It appeared as though Nickelodeon was cashing in, but they were still concerned with expanding outside of their comfort zone and tarnishing their brand. In lieu of building its own stores like Disney, a type of project that was deemed too risky, Nickelodeon instead licensed its properties to anyone
Look
that
at
wanted
all
them.
those
If you could slap a
merchandise.
SpongeBob sticker on it, then Nickelodeon would sign a document that legally allowed you to slap a SpongeBob sticker on it. And since they were already
Nice.
beginning to look like their main competitor, why not act like them too? And what's more Disney than rushing into a huge, difficult project fueled by temporary success? Welcome to the Nick Hotel. Going up?
Never change. Never change. Never change. Nick, Nickelodeon. I like those Fairly Odd Parents hands. I like those Fairly Odd Parents hands.
On October 9th, 2003, Nickelodeon announced that they had formed a partnership with the hotel chain Holiday Inn for the purpose of transforming
Cool.
its Orlando resort, the Holiday Inn Family Suites Resort, into the first ever Nickelodeon hotel. The
Nice.
property was less than 5 years old, having just opened in the summer of 1999. The resort was Holiday Inn's first all-suite hotel, featuring 800
Ooh.
suites, 2 pools,
That's a
water
lot of
playgrounds,
suites.
a
That's pretty
restaurant,
sweet.
and a food court. The hotel was located just east of the Walt Disney World Resort, and transportation was provided to all 4 Disney parks. Nickelodeon had
Cool.
originally considered constructing a new resort themselves, but decided against this due to their constant fear of failure. Orlando was of course the
Indeed,
perfect
like
location
they
for the resort's
established.
pilot test. It had a huge tourist population of families and young children, and the company had 2 attractions at Universal Studios Florida, Nickelodeon
Nice.
Studios
Cha-ching.
and the newly opened Jimmy Neutron's Nick
Cha-ching.
Toon Blast. The Holiday Inn was located closer to Walt Disney World than it was to Universal Studios, but Nickelodeon would take what they could get. During the announcement,
Yeah, sure.
Nickelodeon revealed that they had plans to build 4 more resorts throughout the country. The transformation of the Holiday Inn Family Suites Resort was to be completed in early 2005, and the renovation would cost an estimated $20 million. Nickelodeon began advertising
Whoa,
the resort leading up to its
slime.
release, and parents began to book their stays at the new hotel.
Nice.
Did you hear? Nickelodeon
Did I hear?
built a hotel
What did I
just
hear?
for you. Opening this
Whoa!
Memorial Day, the
Memorial Day?
Nickelodeon Family Suites by Holiday Inn in Orlando, Florida. You get your
Orlando,
own bedroom,
Florida? I can't go all the way over
two
there.
humongous pools with slides and flumes, a giant
Whoa.
arcade,
Whoa, that is giant. It has Ghost Squad.
entertainment. Parents can book reservations
It even has
by logging
Ghost
on to
Squad.
www.nickhotel.com.
Ooh, I wonder if that domain still exists. Or if it just redirects to
On March
know.
9th,
Zorn. Speaking of Zorn, apparently someone bought the domain to one of the Pretty Cure websites. And yeah, it just redirects to Zorn. Or no, it redirects to a version of the website, but it's pretty spicy. I'm not gonna link it though. You're gonna have to find out yourself.
2005, the Nickelodeon Family Suites Holiday Inn, commonly referred to as the Nick Hotel, opened its doors. Guests would walk up to the bright orange resort, with characters peeking through the window of the main entrance. This led to the lobby and check-in desk. There were 4 room layouts that guests could choose from. The first was a 1-bedroom suite designed for 1 to 2 people. This included a king-sized bed, full kitchen, and a dishwasher. The second was a 2-bedroom kid suite. This included a private parents' room, a living area, a bathroom, and a themed kids' room. The kids' room would either feature a bunk bed or 2 twin beds, and the rooms were themed to different Nickelodeon properties, such as SpongeBob, The Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Dora the Explorer, Rugrats, Danny Phantom, and more. Guests could request a specific character room and would be assigned to it if available.
Yeah, that would have been a fucking nightmare, because everyone would want the SpongeBob room. Everyone would want the SpongeBob room.
The kids' rooms also featured a television, and some came with a PlayStation 2. Guests could rent games from the hotel for $5 or bring their own. There was also a CD player and an activity table in most of the suites. Unlike the parents' room, there was no door separating the kids' room from the living area. This was due to a county law restricting doors on kid suites for safety reasons.
Fair enough.
The parents' room was unthemed and featured 2 side tables, a closet, a 25-inch TV, and a makeup desk.
Now, this is the reason why it failed, because what if the parents are also fans of the little square dude, or Danny Phantom, or those 3-dimensional freaks, or those 3D freaks at Jimmy Neutron? What about them, huh? What about them, huh? Anyways.
The main living area featured a pull-out couch, a rocking chair, a dining table, and a 25-inch TV. The third suite layout was a 3-bedroom kid suite. This came with 2 private parent rooms, both with king-sized beds, a themed kids room with a bunk bed and pull-out cot, a full kitchen, a full dining room, and 2 bathrooms. The fourth and final layout was Nick Hotel's honeymoon suite, called the Nick at Night Suite.
Oh, yeah.
This included a heart-shaped whirlpool, mood lighting, scented bath lotion, an extra-large shower,
Shower for 2, baby.
Shower
and
for
one
2.
private bedroom.
Leave those
Aw,
kids
yeah.
For
Aw, yeah. I know where I'm gonna go to my honeymoon. Give me the SpongeBob suite. It failed because it looks ugly as fuck. Yeah, that too, I guess. Hello, Auntie, welcome.
For some reason, these rooms didn't last very long, and it seems
Yeah,
that they were
for
discontinued
some
within a few
reason.
years of the hotel's opening.
For some reason.
All suites had the option of a wake-up call from a Nickelodeon character, and simple room service was available. The suites opened from
Oh my god, those fucking
a
prices.
wake-up call from a Nickelodeon character, and simple
Can we appreciate these prices a bit? $8 for mozzarella. Okay, that's pretty pricey, but nowadays this would be like $18 or $16, and definitely not cheap. Not cheap at all.
room service was available. The suites opened from the outside, resulting in the kids' suites having no windows. 14 6-story buildings housed the suites. The main structure comprised of 9 buildings, enclosing the lagoon pool, and the other 5 buildings enclosed the Oasis pool. The main area also featured the lobby, the fitness center, and Studio B, which was a space for special
Studio
events
B?
such as conferences, birthday parties, and starting in 2009 for unexplicable reasons, weddings.
Yes! Let's get married at the Nick Hotel. That's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea.
The lagoon pool featured a basketball court, mini golf, a pool and a kiddie area, the Lagoon Bar and Grill poolside restaurant, and a large water park. The main
Wow.
attraction for children staying at the resort. The
$12
water park featured
around-
large cutouts of Nickelodeon characters.
$12 is around what a burger from Carl's Jr. costs at Carl's Jr. Yikes!
Multiple water slides, water features, and a large water
yeah.
bucket at the top of the structure. This would periodically fill up, tip over, and douse guests with water.
Yeah!
And at certain times of the day, the water would be colored green to simulate slime.
Yeah!
This was treated as a special event,
Slime!
with hotel employees gathering everyone and getting them excited for the mass sliming. The
Hell
Oasis pool
yeah,
area featured another
slime.
poolside bar, a kiddie area, a spa, and a less elaborate
Ooh.
water park. This was supposed to be the more relaxing area than the often crowded lagoon pool. In between the 2 hotel structures would be a
Nice.
building referred to as the mall. The mall featured an
mall.
arcade, a kids spa, and a gift shop, which sold both Nickelodeon and Universal Studios merchandise. There was a 4D
Nice.
theater, which had a 3D screen, moving seats, bubbles, and water effects.
That is 100% for the SpongeBob 4D experience.
This would show a SpongeBob 4D film, as well as
There you
15-minute
go.
highlight reels from recent movies,
There it
such
is.
as the Ice Age franchise, and later, Pacific Rim. There was also a theater named Studio Nick for game shows
Awesome.
and live character shows. When the hotel opened, Studio Nick had 2 game shows, Who Knows Best and Nick Live. Who Knows Best was a game show that tested how well families knew each other, while Nick Live was a show in
Ooh.
which families would compete against other families in physical challenges.
Remember that Otis is a male cow. Otis is a male cow, and he has udders. Yes.
And trivia, with the winner getting slimed.
Yeah!
A smaller scale version of the show
blind.
called Nick Live Poolside would be performed by the Lagoon Pool, with a small dunk tank dedicated to the show. The Nick Hotel also had a wide array of dining options. The mall had its
Ooh.
own food court, with restaurants rotating in and out from time to time. Restaurants included A&W, Pizza Hut Express, Antonio's Pizzeria, and Starbucks. There was a buffet open for breakfast and lunch, an adult bar named the Nick at Night Lounge, and the hotel's signature restaurant, the Nicktoons Cafe. This reservation-only character dining restaurant served a breakfast and dinner buffet. The main appeal of the Nicktoons
Ooh.
Cafe was, of course, the character meet and greets.
Yeah!
And now a brief tangent on Nickelodeon character costumes.
Thank you.
The Nick Hotel
French
allowed guests to meet many of their
narrative.
favorite Nickelodeon characters. There were meet and greets set up. The Nick Hotel allowed guests
That Mr. Krabs looks fucking mortified. What? He's seen some shit. He's got. Oh, I know why. Because of the war. He's reminded of the war.
to meet many of their
I
favorite
don't think I've ever
Nickelodeon
bought into any of the
characters. There were meet and
of the
greets set up
costumes or
throughout the
plastic
hotel,
merch.
Studio Nick character shows such as SpongeBob
Well, I
Alive,
have
and dance parties in the pool
sometimes.
area. The art of turning a 2-dimensional cartoon into a 3-dimensional walk-around costume is underappreciated. If
It
done
is an
correctly,
art.
It can bring a beloved character to life.
It
If
is an
done
art.
incorrectly, it is creepy. Today, Disney's
It's
walk-around characters rarely
creepy.
come off as unsettling. This is because of the talented actors that portray them, the brilliant artists that design them, and years of trial and error.
Oh my fucking god. Look at this. Oh, there's a guy. Oh my god. There's a mouth. It seemed unbelievably fake and uncanny. You fucking bet. Oh my god. These aren't your pals Mickey, Pinocchio, Pluto, and Minnie, and Donald. These are horrifying simulacrums of those characters.
Nickelodeon did not have the benefit of the latter. All of the Nick Hotel character costumes seem to be designed in such a way that the characters appear as though they are always smiling for a picture. However, this only works if they are staring directly at the camera, which they almost never are. On the other hand, Disney's costumes are designed to be multi-purposed. For instance, when Mickey is smiling for a picture, he will tilt his head up slightly. By design, he appears to be smiling more from this angle. When he tilts his head back
Nice.
down, he is still smiling, but it is more neutral, as opposed to relentless and terrifying. Also, most Disney
Horrifying.
costumes are designed for some amount of neck movement. This gives the characters more life, as they don't appear as walking sculptures. Many of Nickelodeon's costumes featured heads that were too large to move. This resulted
Oh
in
my
a surplus
God.
of premium-grade nightmare fuel. Made worse if
High
the children actually
octane
did have
nightmare
a nightmare, they
fuel.
would turn on their bed light to reveal the character staring at them while they sleep.
Imagine you're just napping, you're just snoozing, and then you're just napping, you're just sleeping, and then suddenly Jimmy Neutron, you turn on the light, Jimmy Neutron jump scare.
In short, every character at the Nick Hotel looked like they were on drugs at all times. Characters appearing at the resort included SpongeBob, Squidward, Sandy, Patrick,
SpongeBob Patrick, Squidward Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs, Dora, Boots, Diego, Blue, Danny Phantom, Krabs, Dora,
what?
Boots, Diego,
Diego looks like he shit himself.
Blue, Danny Phantom, Aang, Cosmo,
Ong.
Wanda, Jimmy Neutron,
Oh my god. This one is especially fucked up. This one's especially fucked up. Ew.
Angelica,
Ugh.
the Power
freaky.
Rangers, Teenage Mutant
Of course, The ones without faces look the best. Naturally.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Millie and Geo of Team Umizoomi, Ming Ming Duck Ling,
From the
Fanboy and
Backyardigans.
Chum Chum,
Oh,
Ace and Marshall, the Paw Patrol dog.
what? Why are they bipedal? Why are they
Pablo, the
I'm gonna tell everyone that this is me and my friends. The Lost Pilot.
Blow, the Bubble Guppies, and Little Bill.
Oh no! Oh no! Not Little Bill! Oh no! Hey kids! You might want to check your drinks after you meet Little Bill.
The costume designs improved over time, but they were still not optimal for character shows.
But Squidward, today is the day that we honor the greatest sandwich in the 7 seas, the Krabby Patty!
The Krabby Patty!
Behind the mall, there was a man-made lake. While it was not accessible to guests, various statues of Nickelodeon characters were placed on it. The hotel also
That's
had
nice, I
Christmas
guess.
festivities named the Let It Snow Celebration. The resort was decorated in
Nice,
bright Christmas lights,
I guess.
and it offered hot chocolate and s'mores around fire pits. Many of the walk-around characters
Man,
were
I want
dressed in
some
seasonal
s'mores.
costumes, and there was a special Studio Nick character show called Celebrate Nickmas. So, how much did
What,
it cost?
miss?
The renovation to create the resort ended up costing around $25 million, and a total of
Yeesh.
777 suites were available to book. Prices fluctuated throughout the
Yeesh.
year. A 2-bedroom kid suite cost between $135 and $275 a night, while a 3-bedroom kid
Oof.
suite cost between $300 and $600 a night. The buffet was around $10 for adults,
Yikes.
$8 for kids, and free for anyone under 12. The Nicktoons Cafe character dining cost $17 for an adult and $10
Blue, look, Blue's doing fucking
for
Gangnam
anyone under
Style!
12. The Nicktoons
I gotta
Cafe
see that
character
again.
dining cost $17
He's
for an
doing
adult and
Gangnam
$10 for
Style.
kids. An all-access wristband in later years would allow
Oh my
guests
God.
access to the 4D experience and other
Nightmare.
activities in the
Just
mall
pure
area. This
nightmare.
cost around $20. So if you did the math, a family of 4 spending 2 nights and a full day at the hotel would cost over $750
Oh
during
my
peak
God.
season. While this was expensive, the Nick Hotel
That's a
operated
lot.
as a resort, with enough activities and attractions to keep guests on property during their stay. This was different than Disney, as more often than not, Walt Disney World Resort hotel guests will be purchasing tickets to one or more of the property's theme parks. On April 30th, 2005, just over a month after the Nick Hotel opened its doors, Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios Florida closed. A time capsule had been buried outside of the
no.
studio in 1992. Kids voted on what they wanted to be placed in the capsule, and items such as a Back to the Future VHS, an MC Hammer CD, and a Nintendo Game Boy were buried. The capsule was to
Nice.
remain for 50 years, to be opened in 2042. After Nickelodeon Studios closed,
Blade Runner 2042. How many years is that? Got I don't know, like okay, 2015 7. Got about 27 years, so I just gotta live long enough for that. I think being there would have made me desire the firing squad. Yeah, true.
the time capsule was moved to the Nick Hotel where it was reburied
True.
and displayed for guests. The Nickelodeon Hotel continued to operate normally for over a decade, adding new
True.
entertainment options and shows periodically. In May of 2012, Double Dare Live, a new game show at Studio Nick based off of the hit TV show, debuted. In 2014,
Yeah!
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Summer of the Shell began. Some rooms were rethemed to the
Cool.
heroes, and a
I
laser
guess.
maze based off of the TV show was added to the mall. In
Cool, I guess.
2015, the Nick Hotel celebrated its 10th anniversary.
Yeah!
But just a month after the celebration ended, the Nick Hotel would receive some devastating news.
Huh?
On January 29, 2016, Nickelodeon announced that the Nickelodeon Family Suites would be rebranded back into a Holiday Inn. The
No!
news, while sad for many, was not
Why?
necessarily shocking. There were a few signs that the Nick Hotel might not be around for much longer. For one, Nickelodeon had a severely
Okay,
reduced presence at
that's why,
Universal
I
Studios
guess.
Florida, since Nickelodeon Studios had closed in 2005 and Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast had closed in 2011. While walk-around characters still
Yeah,
appeared at
fair.
the park, there was no
Fair, I
attraction
guess.
dedicated to Nickelodeon. This made marketing the resort
Fair, I
and the park
guess.
together slightly more difficult. And more than anything, it was an indication that an era of Nickelodeon was over. By 2016,
Indeed.
the original branding was dated, as all of the shows, except SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents, had ended. Another issue was that the
Aw.
concept for the resort was flawed from the beginning. The Nick Hotel operated like an all-inclusive resort, similar to those found in tropical destinations. The problem was that the Nick Hotel was in the middle of Orlando. This made guests feel claustrophobic, as the resort was not sitting next to an ocean. They also wanted to go experience Orlando's many attractions. But for the price of the Nick Hotel, guests needed to stay on property to get their money's worth. However, these were all minor issues. The biggest reason for the debranding was Nickelodeon's new partnership with Charisma Hotels. This was created to build Nickelodeon resorts throughout the world. The company had never gone through with the plans for expansion with Holiday Inn, most likely due to the Nick Hotel not being a massive success. The resort was popular, but it was clear that the Holiday Inn concept wouldn't work outside of Orlando. The first Nickelodeon resort with Charisma Hotels would open in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic later in 2016.
Whoa.
The new resort would have many attractions similar to the Nick Hotel, but it had a more elegant and subtle design and was located on a beach. The Punta Cana resort was met with glowing reviews, and another resort is set to open in Riviera Maya, Mexico in 2019. Since Nickelodeon was focusing on a more luxurious resort brand, they decided to end their licensing contract with Holiday Inn. There was also one more reason for the
I want to visit that. I want to go to this pineapple. I want to stay in this pineapple. That's awesome.
They decided to end their licensing contract with Holiday Inn. There was also one more reason for the closure. The hotel was not in great shape.
The Nickelodeon Hotel, 10 years later.
10
These
years
images
later.
may be disturbing.
That's a good looking pineapple. Oh my. Oh. Oh. Fucking bed bugs? Oh my. Oh my. Oh my god. Good lord. No, the PS2. Good lord. Oh, the mold, the rot. Everything. Ugh, there's a bug. Uh-oh. More like the Nickelodeon Roach Hotel. Good lord. You stayed at worse? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dan Bell also stayed at worse. Bed bugs.
By
More
2016, the Nick Hotel desperately needed a renovation. This meant either updating all of the Nickelodeon characters and properties, or removing them completely.
Classic. Yep. Yeah, it's totally not gonna fucking fall down and potentially decapitate me or anything. Nope. No siree.
The timing just happened to be perfect to end the contract. The resort was to receive a $30 million renovation along with the debranding. It was set to reopen on April 17, 2016. However, construction delays pushed the project back nearly 2 months. Having been announced in January that it was to close, this put the Nick Hotel in a state of limbo for 5 months, and the hotel stayed open for most of the transformation. During this time, certain activities were discontinued, buildings were being repainted, and logos were being removed. The time capsule was once again dug up and moved to the Nickelodeon studios in Burbank. Less people were staying at the hotel during this time, and the resort felt abandoned. Many of the themed kid suites remained, despite the rest of the hotel being given a blue paint job and replacing all Nickelodeon logos with Holiday Inn. Many of the TVs and appliances had not been replaced since the hotel opened.
Almost everywhere, when I had a shaky ceiling fan, nothing ever happened. Yeah, but it's still, I guess the noise is still kind of annoying, but yeah, you could see how the soul was slowly eroding from this hotel.
The mall area was almost completely silent, with many of the attractions and restaurants being renovated or removed. Finally, on June 1st, 2016, the resort reopened as the Holiday Inn Orlando Suites. The hotel still hosts family game shows, the food court reopened with some new restaurants, the water bucket is now dyed dark blue at certain times.
Lame! They should have made it red with blood. I think they still do that with in Halloween, I guess. But yeah, blue, deep blue, really? Gotta give it a different color. Maybe, I don't know, yellow? So it looks like you're being raining with pee? Okay, maybe maybe dark blue is a good choice.
The 4D theater now shows some generic movie. The laser maze is now themed to Batman, and the gift shop now sells both Nickelodeon and Disney merchandise. The prices have also dropped significantly, now typically below $100 a night for a room with a kid suite. The Nick Hotel was an interesting experiment to say the least, because it didn't not work. Attendance was consistent,
it worked.
It wasn't completely neglected by either company, and it avoided what would have probably been a disastrous expansion. At the same time, it wasn't perfect. The design was cheesy, the activities were immature, and there was little to nothing for parents. Plus, Holiday Inn, known more for having
Naturally.
economical prices rather than luxurious facilities, was probably not the best choice for the partnership. Nickelodeon made the right decision in partnering with Charisma Hotels, and it is possible that many new Nickelodeon resorts will open in the future. While these new resorts best the
Nice.
Nickelodeon family
Nice.
suites in almost every category, it is still disappointing to see such an
Kinda like
elaborate
those
entertainment
jellyfish
experience
lamps.
disappear. Seeing the debranded hotel, a skeleton of what it once was, is devastating to those that stayed there and the many more that wanted to. While it might be gone, the Nick Hotel leaves behind a decade of memories of Nickelodeon fans having the best day ever.
And it's a lot better than the best day ever because good fucking lord, that was a shit show. I'm not joking. I did a video reacting to that best day ever thing. They gave a modern SpongeBob episode like the #1 spot when Band Geeks exists. Come the fuck on. So, honey, where you want to be married? I was thinking the Nick Hotel. I absolutely would. I remember being at the hotel and seeing a dead squirrel in the pool. Somebody said it was the real Sandy, and a bunch of kids started crying. Fucking based. Nick stores? Too risky. Nah. An entire resort with a hotel? Perfect. Perfect. Nice. Alright, in 2018, Kevin sarcastically wonders why the Nick Hotel's honeymoon suite didn't last long. 4 years later, Kevin discovers that multiple children were conceived on a Garfield dark ride. Should I watch that one next? Should I watch that one next? This is the real answer. Hey baby, where do you want to have our wedding and honeymoon? The Nick Hotel. Agree. Agreed. Imagine getting married and getting a wake-up call from Patrick Star. Are you ready to be lawfully wedded? I can't hear you. Oh, I didn't pick up. This place looked like a blast for children, but an absolute nightmare for adults. Not having a Krusty Krab where kids could try the Krabby Patty secret formula was a true disservice. Fucking true. True. A kid in 2005 having their own private room with a TV and a PS2 was peak luxury. Imagine Mr. Krabs was an ordained priest. Indeed. I have a horrific memory of throwing up in our bathroom at this hotel. There was a crazy mural on the walls. Every time I close my eyes, the dad from the Wild Thornberries is still grinning at me. I guess you could say that experience was smashing.